All right. Hey there, guys. I am meteorologist Ben Peine here. I just wanted to give you an update. I've been watching the radar pretty much all day, waiting for some things to fire up here. And thankfully, we haven't had anything much to talk about. It's been firing up just to our north. I'll take a look at the radar here for you. And there you can see that we do have a tornado warning about to head towards my daughter here in the IU campus of Bloomington. So they have a tornado warning there with a lot of rotation heading off to the east northeast at around 40 miles per hour. So if you know anybody in Bloomington, let them know to go ahead and seek shelter there. So that's the closest tornado warning that we have up there in Bloomington. Now, as expected, we're starting to get some more energy moving in from the southwest, kind of the nose of a low level jet near a warm front. There is a lot of energy out there, but thankfully, we've had so far what we call a little bit of a cap. That is a little slightly warm layer just up above, creates an inversion and kind of just keeps a lid on anything from really, really developing. So that's been helping us out so far for most of the area. And that's why the tornado warning, or the tornado watch, I should say, has been canceled for many of our counties. So that area in purple that you see is still the tornado watch until 9 a.m. That includes basically areas north of Clark County, Indiana, north of Harrison County, and north of Floyd County. So Louisville Metro and most of Kentucky now out of that tornado watch here as we're straight up at 7 p.m. But just want to let you know, been keeping my eye on it, and so far within our immediate area, things have been fairly quiet here for us. With that said, as we zoom in here a little bit, we do have this cell, and I don't know if you guys were watching earlier today, but we talked about discrete supercells. These are the isolated cells, and when they're riding along a warm front, you just got to watch them really closely. You got to watch them like a hawk because they can spin pretty quickly. They can also grow pretty quickly. Let me get rid of the watch box here. And so this is behaving, by the way. It's just a little heavy rainmaker heading over the Austin, Indiana area. So moving into Scott County and moving over I-65 around Crothersville. This is moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. And then you've got some other kind of smaller showers, a moderate pocket of rain here moving, moving just north of Sellersburg around the Henryville area. Just kind of between Sellersburg and Henryville right now. We got that little pocket of rainfall over I-65. And then as we zoom in a little bit closer here into Floyd County, there you can see near Starlight and up to the Knobs, just northeast of Galena, a little shower there. So far we've been pretty lucky as the severe thunderstorm threat has been tracking to our northwest, where you can see some of those flashing boxes or those polygons. Those are the current tornado warnings that are out right now. So we've got this that my daughter needs to be taking shelter with up in IU. So this is an observed tornado on the ground. You might want to text Hannah that she should probably get in the hallway. Yeah, my daughter's here at IU, and there is an observed tornado on the ground with possibly 1.5 inch size hail heading right toward downtown Bloomington. And so Bloomington's kind of in no man's land as far as radar as well. It's between Indianapolis and the radar and also the Louisville radar. So you don't get, and the radar beam, by the way, goes up at an angle. So it's seeing probably several thousand feet up and not at the surface where the wind speeds are higher. So when you get farther away from the radar, you don't get as good of data, but this does show a pretty strong rotation here just to the west and southwest of Bloomington and the IU campus. So that is a brand new tornado warning there, and that would be heading towards the Nashville area, Brown County State Park. So that is an observed tornado on the ground moving to the east, maybe slightly east-northeast at around 43 miles per hour.
It's like in downtown
Just there should be a storm report with that. They probably haven't released it yet. Let me also bring up. It's probably too far for the CC. This is there might be showing up a little bit. This is the correlation coefficient product, and this shows if there was debris or debris ball, it would be showing some of that. And there might be a little bit of this green that you see here in the blue that might indicate some debris. But again, the radar beam's kind of flying pretty high with how far away Bloomington is from the actual radar. Might be able to get a little bit better data if I click on the Indianapolis radar. So let me try that. This might just take a second to load up. And we'll get the radar beam coming in from Indianapolis. So again, the only threat right now is for our friends up at our Hoosier friends up here at IU and in Bloomington. So that's a potential debris ball. Let me check the reflectivity here. Strong rotation in the storm. Again, observed tornado. And then as we look at the velocity, we've got some. Let's take a look here. Some very strong winds. So that pixel shows over 60 miles per hour. There's some 50s. But again, some strong rotation. When you see the red next to the green, that's called a couplet. And that means you've got strong rotation. So somebody observed a tornado on the ground near IU. Actually, I can take a look at the National Weather Service chat and see what's been going on with that here in just a second. As far as closer to our area, these guys that have been popping up have been behaving and not causing any trouble so far. And again, I can pop up the Metro Louisville and in Indiana. Real quick, just want to check the National Weather Service chat out of Indianapolis and see what kind of report that they may have had. So in Monroe County, they upgraded that tornado warning to a particularly dangerous situation because of the couplet has tightened noticeably over the last 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll see. They'll probably do there's kind of a picture of maybe, it's kind of hard to see here. This is up towards Bloomington. Let me try to bring up the camera. So they'll probably do a storm report up there in Monroe County tomorrow. But let me see if you can see this. McKellar might not be very good. Okay, there we go. So that was a picture sent in a few minutes ago, just to the west of Bloomington. At the very least, a lowering, a wall cloud, if not maybe the beginnings of a tornado touching the ground. Okay, so my daughter's in the basement of the dorms, so that is good. And those dorms are built tough, so I'm really not too worried about that. But hopefully all the students are doing what they need to do to get to their place of shelter in Bloomington. I've got, of course, friends that have kids at Bloomington as well, so if you're watching, hopefully they're all heeding the warnings. All right. The dogs are excited about the rain that we have out here. All right, back in here. So this says considerable for this tornado warning, and that's why it's flashing. This is moving east at around 43 miles per hour, so considerable damage is possible. This thing is spinning like a top. Let me show you this. This is a crazy hook echo right here. Do you see that motion right there? So it is a pretty high likelihood that there's a tornado on the ground moving right toward downtown Bloomington, Indiana. Let me hit this play button here, and you can kind of, if we zoom in a little bit, let me go full screen. You can see this thing spinning. You see that hook and that kind of node there on the south end in that notch. That is very, very significant rotation, a supercell with large damaging hail and a likelihood of a tornado on the ground heading over downtown Bloomington and the IU campus. So again, my daughter is in the basement of her dorm, and this will be moving over that area very quickly. But unfortunately, that is nearly a direct hit for Bloomington. Let me get out of the full screen mode here, and then I'm going to stop this. That is some significant rotation. Yeah, that's not good. The base velocity here. So these again, the radar beams up aloft. The winds of the ground are a lot stronger than this. Let me see if I can bring up. Looks like there is a potential debris ball. This is looking at debris or potential debris. This is called a correlation coefficient product. And if there were a tornado, I would say it is this blue circle right there, where this storm is in a counterclockwise fashion, wrapping up like this. And then you got this spiral right there near downtown Bloomington. So I guarantee you they will be doing a storm survey tomorrow around central Monroe County in the Bloomington area. All right, that's pretty impressive. It's been a long time since I've seen a supercell like that one right there, spinning like a top and heading towards Nashville, Indiana. It's a beautiful Brown County, Indiana. Thankfully, that won't last long, and my daughter will be able to come out of the basement and be okay there. And also, thankfully for us here locally, this is all behaving and not rotating and not causing really any lightning. Here you can see some regular rainfall around Crothersville, Austin, and then heading towards DuPont in northern Jefferson County, Indiana, and then some scattered regular friendly rain over Clark and Scott County. So those storms aren't causing any issues. There were some reports of some tornadoes from, I believe, that same cell that has been moving towards. So that's a long track tornado. We talked about the potential of long track tornadoes this morning. This was just over the state line earlier this evening in East Central Illinois, where a mobile home rolled over with occupants trapped, 3 houses with the roof off. And then this was houses destroyed with occupants trapped. So there were several reports of a tornado that could have been. Let me see if I can get the RadSat with a longer loop and see if it is the same cell. So this is going to back up real quick, and then I'm going to zoom back in here. Okay, where's my satellite? Turn this on. I need to turn the info. Okay, so let me go back. Sorry, I'm clicking some buttons here. Probably 2 hours would do it. And then let me hit play on this. So yeah, that's a long track tornado that caused homes to be collapse on their occupants, trapped. That is the same cell. That is crazy. That is definitely a long track supercell. Let me go back a little bit farther to about 2.5 hours. And you don't see that too often. So this, let me put on just 1 second. The distance tracker from Bloomington, where it's at now, to where it started. It's been on. Now, the tornado hasn't been on the ground this whole entire time, but that supercell has been a supercell for like probably over 100 miles, and has now touched down a couple times in East Central Illinois and now in Bloomington, Indiana. All right, so let me get rid of that. All right. So, again, we still have a tornado watch until 9 p.m. for much of southern Indiana. But the good news is, at least for us here, again, locally, is that most of that tornadic activity is tracking north up around Monroe County and in to the Bloomington area in Brown County, Indiana. I was just going to check out some comments here. I'll check in just a sec. So Barb said, yay. Thanks for watching here, Mike. Let me check Bloomington real quick. I've got a question to see if my daughter can get out of the basement. So let me stop the loop and then go back to our live sweep. And wait for some data to pop on here. There's still some storms out in east central Illinois. We'll have to watch how close those might kind of get near maybe Bedford and Seymour later on tonight. But as we lose the daytime heating, we should begin to lose the energy for severe weather. Yeah, if there was a tornado, it's gone from Bloomington now. So we're good. Yeah. That thing was spinning like crazy. And there's still some good rotation there in Monroe County, just east of Bloomington. And it looks like if we keep that long track tornadic supercell going, if you know anybody that's in the Nashville area, fun town there in Brown County, let them know that there's a potential tornado heading that direction. And then for my friends and family in Indianapolis, there's just a severe thunderstorm on the southeast end of town. That's just a severe thunderstorm warning. So not too frightening there. And thankfully, again, here locally, just some regular old rain showers behaving in our area thus far. Okay. So again, wanted to pop on, kind of give some of you a relief, and then also track the tornado going possibly over my daughter's dorm. All right. Mike Sievert, good evening to you. Small burst of rain there in Greenville. Thank you very much. Steve says, lucky for us, just some rain, lightning, and thunder today in Brandenburg. And that's kind of what my point was when I posted the bread rising graphic and the thunderstorm rising graphic. I don't know if you saw that on my page yesterday, that if the ingredients aren't just perfect, then it can be a big dud. And so we got a large portion of this tornado watch that has been a dud, and I'm happy with that. Would much rather have a storm dodge than getting hit. But like maybe a portion of that bread that does rise too much, there is a portion of this tornado watch that is where people are being impacted. So the ingredients have to be just right for a big outbreak of severe weather, which I never was expecting. But there was going to be some portion that I mentioned between the Ohio River and Indianapolis that we'd really have to watch out for. And again, thankfully for many of us, that has been off to our north. Amber asking, is Bedford still in the tornado watch? Bedford is still in that tornado watch. And yeah, we are lucky here, Penny, and worried about Hannah. She'll be all right. She's in a big dorm, and she's big limestone building, all that limestone at IU. So I wasn't worried about that. She took shelter. So Ashley, you're very welcome. Mike Missy, thanks for tuning in here this evening. Jamie saying, oh no. Stay safe, Hannah, and all. She's all good. No, Melvin, all good. All good. She heeded the warning, not worried about it. And the tornado is now off to the east. So yeah, Ron Jones, looks like that is the case. Hey, I'll fire up the weather models and we can check that out for the rest of tonight. There still is a chance for some showers and thunderstorms for later on tonight, as well as the cold front moves through. This is all warm front activity. Later on tonight, some cold front activity will be possible. Brown County Horse Camp was hit last year. They do get it a lot up that direction, it seems like. Erica, thanks for tuning in here And Marilyn Stewart, we got to sit around the fire for a few. That sounds lovely. Yeah, I mean, the winds weren't too strong today, made it to low 70s. It was a really nice day. I wish I could have got outside more, but I've been just literally parked looking at the radar all day, waiting for something to pop up. Orlean Whitlow, but again, thankfully we had what we call a cap or convective inhibition, which is just a little layer that can inhibit storms from growing. So that's been good. All right, so let's get back to the graphics, and I will. It looks like that potential tornado, which was likely a tornado on the ground, is now east of Bloomington. All right, so let's get to future radar here, and we'll bring up these. This is kind of now casting mode since we're watching it happen now, but we will fire up the HRRR, high resolution rapid refresh weather model. It updates every hour. It should have some pretty good data since this event is ongoing. And we need to back this up to now, actually 7 o'clock. Let's see how it's looking here. And I need to get rid of these site labels. All right, so there. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent job. It's got that cell near Bloomington. This is the initialization of the HRRR weather model. So you can see more activity to our northwest. So I'd say overall, this model's not doing too bad of a job. Oh, my daughter sent us a little video. This was right by her friend's apartment. We're listening to the storm up in Bloomington. It's kind of that freight train sound, they say. Here, I can probably show it to you. Here we go. What is it? All right. It keeps flipping. Well, rocking and rolling up there in Bloomington this evening. Cindy said, I hope Assembly Hall's okay. We got tickets for Tuesday's game. I'm sure it will be. IU's made it through many, many storms. All right, let's get back to the future cast and look ahead here for you. Again, this is now. Let's get to the. All right, so here we go. Hour by hour, we're trying to load this up here for you. It still wants to fire up a couple cells over southern Indiana here over the next couple of hours. This here is at 9 p.m. when that tornado watch is coming to an end, and still banging up over central Indiana with storms. Kind of the I-70 corridor. We mentioned that yesterday, that might kind of be the bullseye. My stepmom up in Indianapolis commenting here. Big night for the weather, spring-like. You know, this is kind of like one of those, maybe one of those to get us in the routine of spring severe weather season. March, of course, is right around the corner, and that is spring severe weather awareness time of the year. So we'll watch up around Highway 50 in Indiana if any cells can clip that far south. Here's 10 p.m. That's all along the warm front. Busy weather up around I-70. And then we've got family in Richmond, Indiana. They need to just stay a little bit alert. Hopefully a lot of this is just heavy rain, lightning, and thunder, maybe some hail, and not organized rotating thunderstorms up that way. There's my daughter. Reagan and I about went down. They did go down in the basement. Yeah, I think she went down. F- down in a tornado. Well, I'm glad you guys, my daughter was not out and about and paying attention. All right. And heeded the warning. All right. That's 11 p.m. All right. So then here, let's watch out here as we go to midnight. This is the actual cold front moving through now. And notice it's got activity in Kentucky firing back up. I doubt that would be severe, but it might still pack a bit of a punch. Talked about this morning on Ben at 10 that the first punch is the warm front. The second punch, not as big, is the cold front. So that still might have some gusty winds with it. You can see that around the Bluegrass Parkway this is midnight. So there still might be some rumbles that wake you up during the late night hours. And there you can see that heading towards Lexington, Kentucky at 1 a.m. And then this loading up next will be 2 o'clock in the morning. There you go. Still a little bit of activity around. And then it's going to be breezy tomorrow. We're talking about some probably 15 to 30 mile per hour winds and cooler with temperatures topping out in the 50s for our Friday. So tomorrow is going to be about 15, almost 20 degrees cooler than what we had today. And then we're going to be down to the 30s, and maybe some flurries on Sunday. So a lot of changes on the way. All right, let's get one more check of the radar, and then we'll wrap up our little update here. Thankfully, we didn't have to do long hours worth of coverage. For the most part, it behaved for our immediate area. That purple area is the tornado watch that continues until 9 p.m. for still a lot of southern Indiana, but it looks like that main threat is still going to stay off to our north. While we do have a couple of these little cells that, again, are still behaving and not showing signs of rotation, too weak for that. There you can see one of those just to the east of Brownstown in Jackson County, Indiana. And then just south of North Vernon, you've got some heavy rain between there and DuPont on Indiana 7. And then some scattered showers in some other spots between Madison and Scottsburg and around New Wash there in eastern Clark County in Indiana. All of Kentucky's pretty quiet. You guys had your active weather a little bit earlier. There was some large hail, though, southeast of Louisville. I saw some hail larger than a quarter, so that was a little bit bigger than an inch size hail earlier. So there was some strong thunderstorms in Kentucky earlier today. So zooming back in to that one tornado warning, that this is going east at 40 miles per hour. This is now radar indicated, not observed. Still rotating near Nashville, Indiana, and heading into central Brown County, Indiana. And then it's going to be heading up towards, if it stays going directly east down 46, that'll be heading towards Columbus. And again, that is a long track supercell. That's what the Storm Prediction Center was saying in their discussion this morning, and the data that we are looking at, that in that enhanced risk of severe weather, there could be some long track supercells, and that's one of them. That's been holding together for over 100 miles since it was in Illinois. Discrete supercell is what that is. And hopefully not a precursor to a busy springtime season. All right. We'll wrap it up with that. Hey, I'll be back on live tomorrow morning. We'll have a lot more peaceful weather tomorrow to talk about on Ben at 10. It's your daily weather show Monday through Friday for our area. I want to thank Lions Roofing for always powering our coverage as well. And tomorrow morning, we'll be talking about the colder weather and maybe having to talk about the 4-letter S word. And you know what that is. All right. Thanks for jumping on here with me as well this evening. You guys stay safe. If for any reason things get crazy again, we'll pop back on. But it looks like we still have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms through late tonight as the cold front moves through. But as we lose the heating from the daytime, we lose some of the energy for storms. So the severe weather threat does go way down. So that's good. All right. We'll see you later. And tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., same time, same place. We'll see you there.